As the playoff picture becomes more clear, Kansas City focuses on health and rest ahead of what they hope is another long postseason run. Coach Reid finally gives the official word on starters as the reigning Super Bowl champs close out the regular season on the road against another division rival. Time to talk all things Kansas City Chiefs right now. What is up, Chiefs Kingdom? Happy Wednesday. I'm Hayley Lewis, and this is Chiefs News Daily. Welcome to 2025. Happy New Year. Hope your day is off to a good start. We got a full episode headed your way. We're going to check in with the team first. We hear from Big Red, along with some other players, how the team plans to approach Week 18 and all that jazz. So let's find out now. But first, give us a like and subscribe right here on the KCSN YouTube channel. And let's get this episode rolling. All right, business as usual this Wednesday. The team is back in the facility prepping for their final opponents of the regular season. It is Broncos week. Kansas City will conclude their 2024 regular season slate with a road game in Denver. Let's check in with the team who spoke today for all the latest headlines. Up first, we got head coach Andy Reid, who answered reporters' questions on whether or not the starters are going to rest in Week 18.
Look forward to the challenge of playing the Broncos. Carson is going to visit with you here in a little bit, but he'll end up being the starting quarterback, and then we'll kind of work things from there on who goes and who doesn't go. I mean, you remember last year how the offensive line played and rotated in and out. So those type of things could potentially take place in this one, depending on the positions.
All right, why is this question headlining the news? Well, the Chiefs hold the postseason fate of three AFC teams in their hands. It's the Broncos, Miami Dolphins, and Cincinnati Bengals. Like we shared with you yesterday, if Denver beats the Chiefs, then they clinch the final AFC playoff berth. However, if Denver loses, they can still clinch if both Miami and Cincinnati also lose. Now, if the Chiefs beat the Broncos, then the Dolphins can clinch with a win of their own against the Jets. But if the Chiefs beat the Broncos and Miami loses, then the Bengals are going to clinch with a win of their own over the Steelers. I hope that all makes sense. So former Chiefs wide receiver, now Dolphins standout, Tyreek Hill, shared on his Twitter a little bit of love for Chiefs Kingdom, hinting at Kansas City potentially helping his team Miami out with a win over Denver. The Cheetah tweeted out saying, "Happy New Year, especially to the Chiefs." Technically, the Chiefs do owe Miami a little something, so Tyreek might be onto something here. Flashback to 2019, a very heroic comeback from Miami Dolphins then quarterback Ryan Fitzpatrick, which helped Kansas City secure the number 2 seed in the final week of the regular season. So this was in 2019. The Kansas City Chiefs were basically tied with the Patriots for the number 2 seed in the AFC. The Chiefs needed a win and a Patriots loss in the final week of the regular season. The Dolphins were taking on the Pats, entering the game with a record of 4-11. So an unlikely upset to say in the least, especially against the defending Super Bowl champs. Ryan Fitzpatrick led Miami the entire game, which in true upset fashion ended in a touchdown pass to tight end Mike Gesicki with just 24 seconds left on the clock to give the Dolphins the win. So the number 2 seed obviously helped the Chiefs navigate the postseason, which, if you remember at the time, being the number 2 seed even gave them a bye week. Kansas City, as you know, would go on to win the Super Bowl over the 49ers and bring home the first Lombardi in 50 years. So can Carson Wentz return the favor without the starters on the field and give the Dolphins that playoff berth? Well, we shall see. All right, now let's get to the rest of Coach Reid's presser.
I've been through that before, so I'm not too worried about all of that. I'm just gives the other guys an opportunity here to grow and well, you can use everybody. Nags has made a big point of emphasis on that and making sure that the guys are keeping the ball high and tight, eliminating tip balls, which could be a problem. Pat's done a great job with the football. And so that's helped us in that area. We can still get better at it as we go here, so we've got to keep rolling with that and keep making that a point of emphasis, as we go forward. Well, I think, first of all, I have a lot of respect for him. I think he's a good football player. I think he's got a good feel for this offense. Whether he's developed it or had some of the stuff prior to coming here, he's got a good feel. And then he deserves an opportunity to get in there and play. And at the same time, it gives Pat time to work on certain things that he'll do during the practices. Yeah, Carson's done a nice job. We've asked him to play fullback and special teams, so 2 of the things that he didn't do. And he's really developed into a pretty good fullback in there. At the same time, he can carry the ball. We know that. He started the season off as our running back and toting the load there in a couple of those games. So that's a plus to have. Yeah, sure. I look at those. Yeah, like we did with Chris last year. Yeah, sure. We look at all that for sure. Yeah, we want the guys to be able to reach them if it's reachable. So, yeah, the primary thing is to make sure that we stay sharp at all areas through this game and for the upcoming weeks that we have to prep for that first game there. So you want to stay sharp mentally and physically, and then that's our responsibility to do that. And how we manage the time, I make sure I do that practice-wise, and then the guys go out and players and coaches and work on that, keeping themselves in the right timing the right way. Yeah.
Quarterback Carson Wentz also got to speak at the podium today, so we hear from him now. Mind you, his last start was almost a year ago when the Rams started the veteran QB against the 49ers in their final regular season game on January 7th of 2024. The last time he played the majority of the season as a starter was back in 2022 with the Washington Commanders.
Have fun, and obviously I want to play well and have success out there, and ultimately more than anything get a win. That's the goal. Obviously we know the circumstances, we know kind of where we're at and the reason I'm playing, not Pat and all the things, but I still go out there and expect to win. I'm going to prepare to go out there and win and have a good performance with this offense, and we're preparing for that. Yeah, it's always been different, but I've stayed locked in, stayed ready, prepared every week. Really kind of had the same routine since I've been in the NFL. Taking some things from Pat and kind of working with him, but at the same time, every week I'm staying locked in, ready to go, and just obviously not getting the reps, but going against our defense, with our scout offense, definitely does help me stay sharp, help all the guys stay sharp, because our defense is no slouch over there either. So we've stayed locked in, stayed sharp, and it should be a fun one. Especially Pat at times, he's taking some big ones, and there's been a couple this year that I'm like, okay, is this it? And so, without a doubt, you got to be ready to go and be on your toes and stay locked in with the game plan and all those things. And so, it's been different for sure, but I control what I can't control and stay ready. I think it would be tremendous, just getting reps. Obviously preseason, is helpful, but that was even limited, and seems like another lifetime ago already. Do things just kind of the way it goes, but this will definitely be helpful if needed in whatever capacity in down the stretch there in the playoffs. But quite frankly, I'm just excited to get out there and play ball.
All right, other players stepping to the podium today include fullback Carson Steele and defensive end Felix Uzama.
Every game's a tough game. That's kind of what I've learned, especially playing with these dudes, going in and out of the one-possession games, stuff like that over the course of so many weeks, so it's been a really cool experience to kind of see how that crunch time works and, how so efficient a team could be, to possibly try to get out and get that victory. Yeah, just watching him, he's an 8-year guy, 9-year guy, just being able to watch him and kind of follow in his footsteps, not even like in the running back role, like blocking, catching out of the backfield, stuff like that. It's really helped me improve my game too as well, especially learn different types of blocking techniques too from him. There's no doubt that, I'm going to get a little bit extra, specific type of roles, but nothing's been really, kind of wired down to who's getting what, between all the running backs and even any other players, stuff like that. So it's kind of a day-by-day thing, kind of figure it out from there.
All right, as for practice today, Chris Jones, Isaiah Pacheco, and Jawan Taylor will not practice. Wide receiver McCall Hardman is designated to return from the IR, and he will be back at practice today as his 21-day practice window opens. Now, DJ Humphries will also work today. The tackle is still nursing a little bit of a hamstring injury he sustained in his first game with the Chiefs. That was all the way back in Week 14 against the Chargers. Now, the left tackle has been sidelined ever since then. Running back Isaiah Pacheco injured his ribs in the Chiefs' pass win over the Steelers, but the injury isn't expected to hinder his postseason run. Quarterback Shamari Connor, who has been in concussion protocol since Week 15 against the Browns, is back at practice today. Defensive tackle Chris Jones tweaked his calf in Week 16 against the Texans and did not play in Week 17 versus the Steelers. Now, as for Taylor, he re-aggravated his knee against the Texans and is dealing with a little bit of knee soreness. Alrighty, folks, that does it for another episode of Chiefs News Daily. We will be back again tomorrow. In the meantime, like and subscribe right here on the KCSN YouTube channel. Enjoy the new year. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you here on Thursday.